Hey, Jungle Explorer here with another trail cam review for you. This one is of the Oudmon 16 megapixel trail cam. This is the first time I've done a review for Oudmon, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of camera they've sent me here. Let's go ahead and read some on the box here. It says 3-second or 0.3 second trigger time, 1080p video, 16 megapixel, IP67, you know, dust and water resistant. Pretty much that's all it says around the box. Let's go ahead and bust in the box to see what we've got here. Cut the seal on it here. Yeah, so let's see what Oudmon has to offer. Let's turn it around here. Got your standard manual. Here's the little camera. Let's just take the rest of the stuff. It comes with a strap. What is this? This is new. Wow, check that out. Cool. Let's get that out of the package here. That's a long metal mount. I like that. I like the metal base mounts better than the straps because the straps rot and rats and stuff chew them in half. Bugs do. That's nice. Okay, that's cool. All right, this one, hey, finally, I think they're watching my videos because I've been complaining about the actual little drywall screws. This comes with some actual wood screws, so good. That's good for mounting it. It does have some anchors there for like concrete and stuff, but it's got regular wood screws for screwing into trees and stuff. You got your data cable there, so that's all you got in the box. All right, get the box out of the way here. Let's take the camera out of the package here. Comes some little cellophane. Okay, nice little camera here. All right, your standard configuration. You got your strap. You got your mount there. Okay, so this is going to mount in the back. I like the kind that have the tripod mount on the bottom, and some of them have them on both. This one only has it on the back. Okay. All right, let's look inside. Fairly standard construction on this. Got the two little latches on the side of the box, and you know, you got your controls here. I don't have any batteries with me here. There's no plate in here, so you just some of them have that really hard to get off cover. This one doesn't have it. It's just got some little tabs here to hold everything in, so that's good. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I've got my feeder all set up. This is the first week of September, but already starting to feed out for deer and pigs for the hunting season that starts in November. So I'm going to go put this out there and we'll leave it out for a couple of weeks and see what we get some pictures of. We'll come back and we'll see how she done. So for me, it'll be 2 weeks. For you, it'll just be a second. We'll see you in just a bit. All right, so we're back. For you, it's only been a second, but for me, it's been a couple of weeks. Let's talk about how this camera did in the field. Well, I put the camera up where I normally put it up at. You know, you've seen a lot, if you know my channel, you've seen a lot of my channels. I have a testing area for these game cameras so I get equal results, okay? It's an area that's cleaned out, has a deer feeder there. All right, so if you're interested in some of my previous videos on game cameras, I'll throw a little card on YouTube that'll pop up in the top corner there, and you can click on that and see some of my other videos on this, okay? All right, so how did the Oudmon 16 megapixel trail cam do? Well, my first impression is that it did really good. There's a lot of things that are really good about this camera. There are some things about it that, as always, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you what I like and what I don't like. I'm not necessarily saying things are defective or that they're bad. It's just individual preference. There was nothing bad on this camera. There was nothing defective on this camera. But there were some things that I think probably were not to my preferences, but there were other things that kind of compensated for that. So let's talk about some basic things here. Now, I already showed you the unboxing. One thing is these little tabs are really hard to get your finger underneath, and that's kind of a frustration, but you can do it, you know, so it could be just a little bit easier to open. The batteries go in here. I use the Rayovac alkaline high energies. Okay, getting them in and out, getting them in is fine. Getting them out, I have to use a knife. There's no way I can do it with my fingers. If you have longer, stronger fingernails than me, you might be able to do it, but they're a little bit difficult to get out. So, you know, that's not a big issue, but on these things, they kind of chew through these batteries, so you have to change them out at least a couple times a year. So, you know, go take that for whatever it's worth. The menu system on this is completely different from any other camera that I've ever had. Most cameras have a vertical scrolling menu system that you go through. This one has a horizontal scrolling menu system. Let me just turn it on. And it took me a while to figure out how this thing actually worked. Of course, you know me, I never read the instructions. Typical guy, you know, but basically right there, if you click on that, you get to the menu, and instead of going up and down, you use these buttons, these arrows, to go sideways. And each page represents a different setting. And then when you get to the setting you want, you press the OK, and you go into it, and you go on from there. Okay, so that's how you set the settings on there. And it has all the typical settings that a camera, all cameras have. It just it's in a different location and a different function. So that tells me that this is made by a different manufacturer than a lot of the cameras that I've actually been using, because it has a totally different form of software on it. Okay, so what really matters is how it performed in the field. Let me give you just a rundown of the test results. Now, I had it in the field for 2 weeks, but I actually only got 9 days worth of pictures. All right, and I'll tell you why later. Okay, so in those 9 days, let me start off with, this is the Oudmon 16 megapixel trail cam, and it retails for $69.99 on Amazon.com. The batteries, the Rayovac batteries I put in, I always measure the batteries. Each battery was at 1.62 volts. That's standard voltage for Rayovac alkaline batteries. Okay. After 9 days in the field, I measured the voltage, and the remaining voltage was 1.48 volts. Okay. Now that seems like a large voltage droppage for such a short amount of time, but there is a reason why, and you're about to find out. The total files, basically, I had it set to take one picture and one video every one picture and one 10-second video every 10 minutes on intervals, or a minimum of 10 minutes. And in 9 days, it took 910 total files. 455 of those files were images, and 455 of those files were video. The total data size on the 32 gigabyte card was 29.8 gigabytes. It completely filled that card up, because you never get a full 32 gigabytes because of the formatting algorithms and stuff. So that it basically maxed out the card where it couldn't write no more, and that's why it stopped at 9 days, because there was no room left on the card. There is, just a side note, there is a function on this camera where it will loop overwrite, so when it fills up, it will continue to write, and it'll overwrite the newest, the oldest images and videos first, kind of like a dash cam will do. I don't like that, because I want to see all my images from the day I put it out, so I don't have that set up, but it does have that feature, which is not on other cameras. I've not seen that on other cameras. All right, so now let's talk about image and video size. The average image size on this was 3.5 megabytes. The average video size was 6.1 megabytes per second of video. Okay, and that's where we come into why the battery usage was a little bit higher than normal. All right, first of all, it took 910 images. Okay, that's massive. Now, I'm going to say that potentially 80% of those images had nothing in them, since there were no animals visible in the screen of the images. So there was about an 80% false positive. That is the highest false positive that I have had of any camera this year, and I've done a lot of camera tests this year. I think 12 different models. So that's massive, okay, guys? Now, I am getting more than normal results, because we do have a plague of grasshoppers, which are all over the place, especially around my feeder. They're on the corn and stuff, and they're causing a lot of false activations. but I've not had a camera shoot that much in that short a period of time. In the same location, most cameras will shoot 200 images and videos or less in the same period of time. This shot 910 actuations. I did have it set to high sensitivity. I'm going to put it back out in the field probably at low sensitivity, and it probably will do a lot better. So if you're going to put this anywhere where there's any potential of anything moving in front of it, you know, I would say maybe on an open sidewalk or street would be okay. But if there's any kind of movement, it's very, very sensitive. So I would lower the sensitivity down to medium or to low sensitivity, putting it out. Okay, but every time the video comes on, which it came on 450 times, especially at night, it has to turn the infrared illuminators on, and they have to stay on during the whole time that the camera is filming video. So that's 450 times 10 seconds, okay? 10 seconds times 450, that's a lot of time to record video, and I would say 30% of that was at night. So, you know, that's almost, you know, 190 videos at night. That's a lot of power, and that's what caused a little bit normal, above average battery use for the time period, and is it wrote a lot of files, and a lot of them were at night, and it was a lot of video. Okay, so those are the technical data of what was the result of the actual test. Now let's go to impression. All right, guys. So I'm going to show you some images here. Now, first, we're going to start off with an image at night of a deer underneath the feeder. Now, I'll leave it up there for a little bit. It's a very, very nice nighttime image. Very clear for a nighttime image, very bright, very detailed, okay? Now, let's go to a low light image, which would be like early morning or early afternoon, where you would get a lot of deer there. And there's one right there. And you can see, very good image. And here's a bright day image of a doe with some fawns. And again, very good images. Very good images. Okay, let's look at some video here. All right. Now, this first video is very important, and I'm going to stop and talk about it a little bit. Let's roll. What do you see? You see a bobcat. All right. Now there is sound. The camera does have sound. Very good microphone. Okay, but you can't hear anything because bobcat's silent. All right. So why is that video so important? I'm going to tell you that in 12 years of running cameras, at that particular location, I have never caught a bobcat like that. Never caught a bobcat. Not one time have I caught a bobcat like that. Why? There's a lot of bobcats around me, and I'll tell you the reason why is because they're afraid of the infrared lights. And when they see them, I've caught a lot of bobcats, but they're just a blur. As soon as that light turns on, they see that light, they run. That bobcat did not do that. In fact, it gave no notice of the light at all, which means that these black light illuminators are doing a very good job of not being detected by the animals. So that is a huge thumbs up for this camera. Most black light illuminators, or like they have the dark or a blackout, they don't do a very good job of nighttime. There's really bad quality images and video. This one had excellent nighttime video. And you can see there that bobcat was clear, all that stuff. So that's really good. Okay, so that's one good thing. Now let's go to a low light video. And now we're going to go to a bright day video. And there's a doe there, and she's got two fawns with her, and you can see the white spots on the fawns, everything, and you know, just really good quality video. All right, so let's talk about the quality. I've done about 12 cameras this year, and I'm going to say the video and image quality of this camera is probably superior to any camera that I've done this year. All right? It's really good video and image quality for a game camera. But it does come at a cost, guys. Remember what I told you, the video size? 6.1 megabytes per second. That's massive. Actually, that's almost 4K video size data per second of video. and this is just a 1080p. It's good quality video, but it's not that good a quality video. Okay, it's not 4K. The image size was 3.5 megabytes per image. That's massive for most game cameras. Most game cameras are around 1 megabytes, 1.2 megabytes, 1.5 megabytes. This is 3.5 megabytes. That's DSLR, quality images there. All right, but they are better quality images. They're not Canon, Canon quality images, but they are really good quality images. Now, the camera that I'm filming this with, that I'm using right now, it is a Sony a6500 mirrorless camera, top of the line Sony camera, professional quality camera, okay, with a professional quality lens. And when I shoot a standard image with it, most of the images are around 3.5 megabytes. So, and we're talking professional quality images here. All right, when I'm shooting in JPEG. Now, RAW images are more, but JPEG are about that size. Some of them are a little bit bigger. Video, when I'm shooting in full HD 1080p video on the camera, which is super clear, it's only about 2 megabytes per second video, okay? So, the video and image sizes on this camera are a lot larger than normal, but it also has very good quality image and video. So what I think that they did was they tweaked the compression algorithm on this camera to not really compress the image and video that much, so that it preserves all the original quality of the images and videos that it captures, because it is the compression algorithm that sometimes ruin and they basically save size. So you've got to choose what you want. This is going to get you some good quality images, some good quality video, but it's going to chew up a lot of data. So, but 32 gigabyte SD cards are not. I mean, I can get Samsung Evo Selects for about $5.99. So I mean, it's really not that big a deal. But if you're going to leave it in the field for a long time and it's going to eat up your data like it did, I left it out there for 2 weeks, but brought it in, only had 9 days worth of image. You're going to have to take that into consideration, okay? So that's one of the things that you need to think about. Is it a pro or is it a con? All right, now, there's a whole different subject I want to talk about here. And this is probably my least preferable thing about this camera. It has a narrow angle lens. This is the second camera I've tested this year that had the narrow angle lens. And you're like, what are you talking about? Okay, well, they say seeing is better than hearing, so I'm going to show you. All right, so I'm going to show you an image here from the Campark T45, which is a video camera game camera that I did a review on earlier. I'll throw a link up in the top corner. A little card will pop up there, and you can go see that. But here is and the Campark T45 has a standard angle lens for a game camera, about 140 degrees. So here's that image. Now, I'm going to leave it up there. You can look, you see the feeder, you can see the ground, you can see the top of the feeder, the sky, and to the edges of it. All right, now, I'm going to throw an image, same exact shot, approximate time of day, from the Oudmon. You can't see the feet of the feeder, you can't see the top of the feeder, so it's a much more narrow angle lens. Now, I overlaid the Oudmon image onto the Campark image so you can see where they fit together. All right, there you go. You see how much smaller the Oudmon image is. It's only capturing about 25% of the total real estate of a normal game camera. Now, whether that's a good or bad thing, preferable thing, or an undesirable thing, that's up to you guys, what you want to use it for. In that feeder situation, it resulted in a lot of partial animal, the butt of a deer or something like that, and a lot of pictures with nothing in it because it's catching such a small area, okay? Had the Campark been there, would have caught a lot more pictures of animals that were outside the lens or the field of view of this camera right here. But I still like the camera, and I think that it would be really good for like a game path, like a trail through the woods, and where you've got a very narrow spot you want to cover, and it does take good images, but I just want to let you know it is a narrow angle camera. It would work really good for a security camera, maybe a breezeway or an alley or a driveway or something like that, where you didn't want to catch everything that's going on, you just want to catch a certain area. It would be really good for that. So there you have it, guys. that's all I've got to say about this camera. I like it. There's things I do like about it. There's some things I don't prefer about it. But overall, it did a good job. I found no serious defects with it. The video and, you know, sizes are a little bit big, and it's a little sensitive, but playing around with it, you can get it to the right. Like always, I'm not promoting anything. I'm giving these products for free, but I don't promote them. It's up to you. I give you the evidence and tell you the pros and cons, and I let you decide whether it's good for you. If you are interested in this and think it will serve you a purpose for you, I will throw a link to it in the description of the video underneath the video in the Show More area. Just click on that Show More button. There is the link there. Also, connect with me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Those links will be underneath that link right there. Fishity, my website. You can contact me there. Let's talk. Let's get to know each other, okay? So, I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, this is the Jungle Explorer signing out.